Attention dollhousers, are you tired of settling in for a few moments of quality dollhouse playtime, only to have your dolls falling over and making a mess of your scene? Does digging through your box of doll stands leave you frustrated? Fret not, dollhousers. The makers of cereal boxes, flimsy basswood, and coffee stirrers are coming to your rescue. No more wasting precious playtime with cleaning and reorganizing. Grab your glue and step into the doll cupboard. Happy New Year, dolly friends! If you're like me, sometimes you run out of doll stands for your little dollhouse dolls. I was ringing in the new year with a thermometer in my mouth and an ice pack on my head, and when I finally got up, I wanted to play with my dolls, but they kept falling over and making a mess of my scene. I have some lovely doll stands that my friend gave me, but I didn't have enough, so I thought I would try to make my own. I had this flimsy basswood, it's 1/16 of an inch. You can cut it with some scissors, but I'm really more comfortable with an X-Acto knife. I measured out the feet of my dolls. I wanted the bottom circle to be pretty small, not really covering the whole width of them because I don't want it to take up too much room in my dollhouse. I have this little circle template and I use that, but you can use a coin also to trace the size that you need. Like I said, you can cut it with scissors, but I was more comfortable with my X-Acto knife. So just cut a square close to the edge of the circle and then just use the X-Acto knife to cut around those edges and sand it. It's very, very easy. You can use a fingernail file or emery board or sandpaper to sand it and get a circle. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I really didn't pay any attention to perfection in this project because I just wanted to play with my dolls since I had been under the weather. I'm planning to make a little indentation near the heel of the doll that I can put a coffee stir stick to support the back of the doll. I'm just using my craft knife, but really the wood is so soft, especially if you go with the grain like I'm doing. You can really use anything. You can probably even use a sewing pin or your fingernail. I think that'll do fine. And then I just put it up, going up the clothing and just broke off the end to get the length that I wanted. You don't even need your craft knife or scissors to do that, and just sand it a little bit. You can use some markers. I have the alcohol markers and these furniture markers, and I use them both to make several stands. I'm going to try my alcohol marker on these. And for some reason, it's showing up as being such a dark black. It's actually not black at all. It's a dark bronze color. So it didn't I don't know why it came out looking so dark on camera, but anyway, you can do black, white, you can do whatever you want. You can paint them, color them, use markers, whatever you want, or do nothing. And then I just use my Gorilla wood glue, which I love, to put it together. See how simple that is? It's just important that you do allow it to dry. The wood glue likes a little bit of time to cure. It sets up pretty quickly, but then it needs to cure. So I also have this little template, and I'm using some cereal box here, and I have it folded over, as you can see. Just to give it a little more stability, I'm gonna glue the two pieces together for a double thickness and more stability, like I said. So you don't even need the basswood. I went ahead and cut a little straight piece that I could use as a stand. I was very sloppy about this, and I went ahead and cut it on the fold because I didn't think the glue would hold it too well there. I wanted it to be perfectly flat. So once they were dry, I covered both sides with Gorilla Glue, the Gorilla Wood Glue, to give it a little extra stability. The wood glue really dries nice and hard and makes a nice finish, especially if you're using the cereal box. So I just let that dry and basically did the same thing. I used my little gouging tool here, which I had forgotten that I had, to gouge a little indentation. And I'll just glue that in. Here's a better look at how I measured how high to make the stick. It really depends on the stability of your doll. If you need stability behind the head, you can go up higher. So I just broke it off like that. And the coffee stir sticks I had are pretty flimsy. You might have better ones, or you can use anything really. You can use the cereal box to make a little back support too. So I'm just gluing the coffee stir stick into the cereal box base. And then I think what I will do for these two is I think I'll paint them, since they're a little more crude looking than the ones that are made with wood. And that's what I've done. So here I made 4, those 2 are for Hans and Millie, 4 out of the wood and 1 out of cereal box and coffee stir stick, and the silver one on the end is entirely out of cereal box. And here's Mrs. Turnipseed. Remember her? She came in from Canada and had a baby. She is so cute, but she does fall over, and this works just perfectly for her. I can't wait to play with them. And this is poor little Jenny. Remember I bought her at the really great estate sale, and I really love this doll, but she needs some clothes. Well, Millie has kindly donated a dress for little Jenny. I've used 2 of the stands for Millie and Hans. Poor Hans is so accident prone, and he's left his new shoes by the Chesterfield. Oh, Hans. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Please come back and visit me next time in the doll cupboard.